Hi parents, welcome back to IEP Advocacy. Thanks for joining me today. I'm Nikki, your educational advocate, board certified behavior analyst, and today I'm going to walk you through video 2 of our acronyms series. This is going to outline all of the acronyms within an IEP. An IEP is your individual education program. I'm going to have all the acronyms right up here on the screen as I go through them. I will also have my cheat sheet down in the description box below. You can download that and follow along. The first acronym that tends to come up when we're looking through an IEP is AT and AAC. AT stands for Assistive Technology. AAC stands for Augmentative and Alternative Communication. These are applicable to students who require technological support in order to effectively communicate throughout their school day. So if your child is nonverbal or has expressive or receptive language delays, these are likely terms that you will discuss with your IEP team. Next, we have ESY. Think of this as summer school. If your child has a history of regression after extended breaks from school, they may qualify for ESY. This happens when a child goes essentially backwards or regresses on their IEP progress. They may have an escalation of challenging behavior. They may just have trouble with general functioning in a school environment after previous summer breaks, winter breaks, spring break. And so there's a history of data to show that these regressions are occurring. And if that happens, ESY will be considered. From there, we come to PLOPs, present level of performance. The longer version is present level of academic achievement and functional performance, but it is generally referred to as the PLOP. Every single goal that your child has will have a PLOP, and the PLOP tells you where your child is right now. It outlines any testing information, any data that's been collected, comparison to typical peers within that area, and it gives the team a baseline before any intervention is provided, before the IEP is actually implemented. It tells the team where your child is at right now so that the team can measure progress moving forward. Every goal will have its own PLOP, and the PLOP is really key and needs to be thorough. It needs to include all those things I mentioned, testing information, data, and a peer comparison so that you know that your child is making adequate progress on their IEP goals. Next, we have specially designed instruction, SDI. These are the services that will address the goals that were just outlined. The services will include a few different key components for each one. So for each service, you'll have a description of it. So within that service area, what are the specific interventions that are going to be provided in order to make progress on that goal? And each service will also identify the goals that it is addressing. It will also tell you where it will happen. Is it going to happen in the general education setting, in a resource room, etc.? It will tell you who is responsible for providing that service. And it may be more than one person. Is it a speech language pathologist, an intervention specialist, or a special education teacher, an occupational therapist? So you'll know exactly who is responsible to provide that service and for those specific goals. And last, it will tell you how much, how many minutes, a day, a week, a month, will your child be provided that specific service. And it just depends on the service, what makes most sense. If it's written as a day or month, the team will decide that, but you'll know exactly how many minutes your child will be receiving. Last is least restrictive environment. LRE. This is a right that your child has. Every child has the right to be educated within their LRE. And that is the environment where the majority of their school day happens. And the LRE, the very least restrictive environment within a public school setting, is the typical school environment, your general education setting. And from there, we start to move up the continuum of restrictiveness. So after your general education setting, the next restrictiveness would be an inclusion model. So some type of model where services are pushed in and provided within the general education setting. After that, we tend to move into a more of a resource model where students are pulled out of the general education setting to receive specific services or work on certain goals. Then we move into a self-contained classroom. So this is a classroom that's still within a child's home district, within the public school, but it is a self-contained. And this is for students who require specially designed instruction for the majority, if not all, of their school day. And after that, the very most restrictive placement is an alternative placement outside of a child's home district, outside of the public school setting. And that is a continuum. And oftentimes you'll hear people talking about taking data to determine what the LRE for that child is. And that is absolutely true. In determining a child's LRE, we want to look at that child's profile, all of the data about that child available to the team, and we want to place a child in the least restrictive environment where it is reasonable to assume that they will make progress. And for different students, it will be anywhere on that continuum. Not everyone starts in general education and then we follow a wait to fail model. The team uses the information about each unique child to determine where on the LRE continuum is it reasonable to assume that that child can make progress, and that's where we start placement. Those are the acronyms we find within an IEP. I really appreciate you joining me today. Remember to grab that cheat sheet that I made for you and stay tuned. There are more acronyms that will come up as you talk about an IEP, like provider acronyms and more acronyms around legal rights. Those are going to be separate videos to keep these short and sweet so that I know you can get back to your very busy days. Again, thanks for being here. Be informed, be empowered, be a partner, and I'll see you again really soon.